Hello, welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are welcome here and welcome to bring your full self. I'm Chris Tackett, the music coordinator for the Baja 4, a coalition of 4 Unitarian Universalist churches right here in southern Arizona, in Tucson, Amado, and Sierra Vista. I've worked as a church musician for over 3 decades now. I didn't set out to do that. My real musical love is jazz and classical music, but my odd combination of talents and abilities in choral and instrumental music, my ability to be flexible and willing to improvise when necessary, and to be able to communicate with clergy and other musicians all over the stylistic world map makes me ideally suited to providing music for worship. Also, my basic contention that all music is fundamentally sacred means that I'm professionally compatible with most religions. Funny thing though, not everyone is open to everything that I like to do. Many congregations only want more classical sounding things, traditional choir and church choir sounds. Some want more pop flavored stuff, so-called contemporary worship. And it seems like almost nobody wants jazz as a part of their regular worship. So I almost never get to bring my full artistic self to my work, to say nothing of my life as a gay man and my personal belief system that hovers somewhere in the atheist agnostic realm, with strong influences from pagan, New Age, and spiritualist traditions. Since coming to work for UUCT a year and a half ago, and then transitioning to Baja 4 last year, though, I've been able to truly bring my full self to my work, and that's been wonderful, and thank you for that. In this service today, you're going to hear some of our favorite music and stories from the last year of our recorded worships, some with new introductions by my musical colleagues Shakela Wanyama and Brian Moon, and ministerial compatriots Jamila Omar and Reverend Matthew Crary. My prelude this morning was recorded a couple of weeks ago to mark the then impending birth of little Otis Christopher, and also honors Benjamin and Joy, 2 other babies born in our immediate circle this past year. Thad Jones was a composer and trumpet player who, along with drummer Mel Lewis, started one of the longest-running big bands in the world, the Monday Night Village Vanguard Jazz Orchestra, a group that is still actively performing 55 years later and hoping to return soon to Monday nights at the Village Vanguard nightclub in New York City. To light our chalice today, words from Ernesto Cardenal. The music of the spheres. A harmonious universe like a harp. Its rhythms are the equal repeated seasons, the beating of the heart. Day, night, the going and returning of migratory birds. The cycle of stars and corn. The flower that unfolds by day and folds up again by night. Rhythms of moon and tide, one single rhythm in planets, atoms, sea, and apples that ripen and fall, and in the mind of Newton. Melody, harmony, rhythm, the harp of the universe, unit behind apparent multiplicity. That is the music.
I invite you to join me in the words and in the feelings of our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land was stolen from indigenous peoples. Over 500 years of displacement, genocide, and theft of land that we accept as colonization has occurred. This happened in successive waves by Spain, Mexico, and our own United States. And yet, our indigenous neighbors, they're still here. They still live in this place. The Chiricahua Apache, Pasquayaqui, Otham, and Apata peoples have continued their traditional lifeways and envision a vibrant future. What we acknowledge now is a challenge, and it will take more than our words and our feelings to resolve. May we acknowledge then that there is justice yet to be grown, so that all people here are as whole as the land itself.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí. Y al corazón, cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Hágame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Gone on, wild bird in lofty flight, is still within or leaves thy sight. And I am thine, I rest in thee. Great Spirit, come and rest in me. The ends of the earth are in thy hand, the seas are deep and far off land, and I am thine, I rest in thee. Great Spirit, come and rest in
The recording of Level Guide Us that you're about to hear was made by Andrew Clenard and myself, and I'm incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to have worked with him. I wish that we could play in real life or in easier circumstances. I think the story of the song is that I offered a punk rock version of Level Guide Us, and that one of the ministers thought, oh, that'd be incredible. And then I fiddled around with the recording, and instead you got something that's a little bit more indie pop than punk rock, and was just sort of meh. And then I sent it to Andrew, and he added that tasty bass guitar line and these really cool harmonies to my voice, and it just really made it into quite a nice recording. So hope you enjoy. Love will guide us.
Love will guide us, peace as Hi friends, this is Jamelia. I'm here with Amira, and we want to tell you about one of our favorite stories that I told just about a year ago. It was our Beltane story. Everybody remembers it because it had the Lego figures in it. It was one of the most challenging to record simply because it took a really long time. Each one of the images that you see was a separate shot, and then they moved either a little bit or a whole lot, and then another picture taken for it for the next shot. It was a lot of fun to put together. I, of course, appreciate Jody's guidance and assistance in getting the final production done. But here it is, our Beltane story.
Hi, I'm Aisha. These are my parents. Do you know what day it is? It's May 1st, May Day, the day we celebrate Beltane with all of our Wiccan friends. What's Beltane, you ask? My parents say Beltane is a time to celebrate love. Ack. But they also say that they're happy about it being in the middle of spring when everything's growing, like plants and me. They think it's beautiful and that makes them happy. But the grown-ups are all lovey-dovey. They've been smiling and hugging and kissing and staring at each other with these big moon eyes all day. But pretty soon, we all pile into our car and go to our friend Alex's house on the beach for the Beltane party. As we pull up to Alex's house, I can see the big maypole in the yard with colorful ribbons around it. I love the big hugs that Alex gives everyone. He's really tall and always picks us up and spins us around when he hugs us. There are lots of our friends dressed in bright yellows and reds and greens and blues. The grown-ups are all as silly and happy as my parents, kissing and giggling and yelling, "Happy, happy Beltane!" We are getting ready to start the ritual. I pick up a small drum. Heather chooses a rain stick. Eli gets a pair of cymbals. We're ready for the circle. We play our instruments and stand facing north. All the kids call out, "By the earth that is her body." Then we continue around the circle, each facing east. We call out, "By the air that is her breath." Facing south, we chant, "By the fire of her fiery spirit." Then we walk around, drumming our drums, clanging our cymbals, and dancing. When we face west, we call, "By the water of her womb." We join hands with the grown-ups and form one big circle. Everyone says together, "A circle is cast," and we all cheer. One by one, we step forward and take ribbons. Alex takes a red ribbon and says, "I take red to bring creative fire to all my stories." My mom's friend Alice takes a blue ribbon. She says, "I take blue for healing my body." Alice was in the hospital a few months ago. "I pick orange," I announce. "Why orange?" someone calls. "Because I love it." "For love," someone replies. Each person picks a ribbon. I look around at the circle of different people, and I love them. When everyone has a maypole ribbon, a woman walks around the circle drumming. Half the people in the circle take a few steps closer to the maypole. We begin to dance, winding our ribbons over and under the others. At first, the dance is slow. We begin to sing a song. Our song gets louder when our ribbons are all wound up. We let the ribbons drop and get tied together at the bottom of the pole. We join hands. We link arms. We dance until all we can do is collapse into a circle sprawled on the grass. And then we are quiet. We are so quiet we can hear bugs buzzing in the air. A woman walks around the circle with a big jug of water, and we take turns splashing our hands and faces and the ground. After a few minutes, the other kids and I pick up our instruments and walk the four directions of the circle in reverse. West and south, east and north. We thank each of the directions for being a part of our celebration. Then everyone holds hands and yells, "Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again." After we've opened the circle, we begin our feast. Fruit, heart-shaped cookies, raspberry juice, and much more. Later, as we're getting ready to leave, my parents ask me, "Do you see what we mean about Beltane now?" I thought about my friends, about playing the drum, about Alex's big hugs, about all the things we did today that showed each other love. Might not show it, but I think Beltane is the coolest holiday ever. It's my new favorite. But that's between you and me.
Working with the Baja 4 has been a blast, and often we end up recording music as musicians that we don't select. In this case, Let This Be a Dance We Do was something that I think Jody requested. And of course, the wonderful thing about working with Chris is that he is open and willing to try new things. So he spiced up the piano part a little bit, and I tried to match my vocals. So here's our recording of Let This Be a Dance We Do with a little pizzazz.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark, there's no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, share the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
I had the great pleasure once of singing in a choir led by Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout, who is the worship arts director at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, Michigan. You've seen him in some of our worship services before, and we will hear a poem from him later. And Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout gave us an invitation in one of the songs we were singing. The lyrics that we all had in front of us instructed, maybe told us to say the word walk. And Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout invited us to create a murmur, a layering of different words for the different ways that beings move when the word walk appeared in the lyrics. And it was really cool and fun to hear what we did with that. It was just an auditory murmur when we got to that word in the song we were singing. And I think we can apply this murmuration to sacred language too. If, for instance, when another person says God, other people say love, goddess, community, science, etc., there would be an auditory murmuration. And I think this murmur would appropriately encapsulate the breadth of Unitarian Universalism, the breadth of who we are. In this next song, Nada Te Turbe, you will hear the word Dios with a capital D, which, as many of you know, is the Spanish word for God, the sacred, the divine. And as you hear that word, Dios, you will see a visual murmuration, different words that you or another might say when someone says Dios or God. This visual murmur is an invitation to imagine your names, your words for the sacred, the divine, that which is bigger than yourself. And it's an invitation to bring those words, those names, into the space you are in, the space we are creating together.
Sharing the story, "You've Got Something on Your Face," allowed me to bring my full self to its adaptation and production. You see, it isn't often that I get to bring my ministry together with my being a dad. But my youngest, Magnus, joined me in bringing this story to our small screen. And I hope you find joy in it, as much joy as Magnus and I did making it together. Once upon a time, not far away at all, a man had something on his face while on an online call. And when someone on the call said, "Hey, there's something on your cheek," he pretended he didn't notice, like the other didn't speak. Of course, when he ignored the comment, acting like he didn't hear, he only made it worse. The smudge became more clear. As people covenanted in love to speak the truth, "You've got something on your face," said the Zoom call's only youth. "Ah, there's nothing," the man grumbled, gathering his defense. It was clear for all to see that didn't make any sense. Now, it could have ended there. The group might have let it go, but the man began gaslighting, telling them what they should know. "Something's wrong with your computers. You don't see what you see. It's obviously your problem when you see a smudge on me." Now, some folks tried to reason, but others just were sad. Yet, as they all offered to help him, the man started getting mad. "You've all derailed our meeting when we have projects in the works. You keep on focusing on me, but you're the one who are perks of faith together." Means we listen to feedback, yet we are not required to stick around when someone's on attack. But before anyone could say, "We love you, but not your fit," the man got up and left them, saying that he was going to quit. During times of uncertainty, our emotions will run high, but a value of our covenant, each is responsible to ask why. Why am I so grouchy? Why are my emotions feeling strong? Why did I act that way? And how can I say I'm wrong? It is even more important when humbly we face how wrong we have been about gender, class, or race. There is another ending to what happens on the day when you or I hear something we don't want someone else to say. It might feel uncomfortable to hear that something's on your face, yet when we respond humbly, we make a beloved braving space. And that's the moral of this story, a truth of covenant, my friend. Knowing each can stray from our promises keeps us humble in the end.
Let this be a house of peace, of nature and humanity, of sorrow and elation. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of freedom, guardian of dignity and worth held deep inside us. Let this be our house, a platform for the free voice, where all those sacred differences here shall not divide us. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Let all in this house seek truth, where scientists and mystics abide in reverence here. Let this be our house, a house of our creation, where works of art and melodies concentrate the atmosphere. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of prophecy. May vision for our children be our common theme. Let this be our house of myth and lore and legend, a trove of ancient story and cradle of our tender dreams. Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
I wrote the original version of this piece as a piano solo more than 20 years ago. I've been attracted to the nature-loving text by St. Francis for a long time, mostly for its themes of finding the divine in nature. The tune is also one of my favorites, an ancient tune brought into the 20th century by English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams in his revision of the English hymnal. The tune, most of you know, is a broad three with a very churchy-sounding harmony. And so forth. I changed up the rhythm a little bit, made it a faster three, which then makes the traditional tune balance on top of it in a very different way. So even though the tune is exactly the same, it feels very different in a different rhythmic setting like this. I also changed up the harmony a little bit to a more folky, free feel. I wrote the choral version for a Thanksgiving service more than 12 years ago, and we were just starting to learn it last year for Earth Day, when the world stopped. It's actually fairly easy to learn, even though it doesn't sound that way. This is one of our early attempts at a virtual choir with the UUCT Desert Chorale. All creatures.
All creatures of the earth and sky, come kindred, lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia, bright burning sun with golden beam, soft shining moon with silver gleam.
Swift rushing winds, the wild and song, white clouds that sail in sky alone. Hallelujah, hallelujah, fair rising morning sun rejoice. All stars of evening find a voice. Hallelujah, 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 flowing water pure and clear, make music for all life to hear. Hallelujah, hallelujah, dance flame of fire so strong and bright, and cheer us with your warmth and light. Hallelujah, 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 understanding heart, forgiving others, take your heart. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let all things now the sacred bless, and sing as loving humbleness. Hallelujah, hallelujah,
In my career, I've been very fortunate to be able to work with some very musically talented clergy, ministers, rabbis, priests, cantors, with various talents and abilities to sing and play instruments as part of worship, in addition to their ministerial abilities. I'm happy to say the Baja 4 is no different. Reverend Bethany and Reverend Samantha are both very capable singers, and they also have the wonderful blessing, in this time of home recording, to have live-in accompaniment. Here are two pieces they recorded for our services, Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe with Brian Russell Lowe, and Reverend Samantha Wilson with Andrew Clenard.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know you're mine. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love under rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me that I might know you're mine. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. this, oh my soul, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath my sorrows drowned, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, oh my soul. Friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends who pain and sorrow win, with thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul.
Our final piece today, Blue Boat Home, is one of those UU standards that's been used several times in several different recordings in our services over the last year. This winter into spring, the UUCT Desert Chorale was even using it as a kind of heart song, a song to sing in our virtual rehearsals, just as a kind of a musical healing for ourselves, not necessarily to sing for everyone. When I heard that the Mountain Vista Band, UU4X, was working on a recording for a service, I asked Shakayla to put me in touch with their leader, Dan Oved, and Dan and I worked together to create this version, with UU4X, the UUCT Desert Chorale, and yours truly working together. I really think it's one of the most beautiful cooperative things we've done across the Baja 4 so far. Thank you, Dan, for your help in putting it together. And thank you all for being here with us today. If there's anything I want you to take away from our time today, it's that no matter who you are, where you are, or even what you are, whether you're classical music, traditional choral music, pop, rock, or folk music, or even jazz, or some weird combination of all of the above, the world is always better when you can bring your full self to everything you do. It takes all of us to make a village, many villages to make a state, many states to make a nation, and many nations to make a world. But it all starts with you. Always bring your full self. Amen, amen, and blessed be. And so may it be for the greatest good of all involved.
below me I feel no motion. Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue